Wandering Bard. I'm Jeremy Grafe, and as you can see tonight, I am joined by Jules Schrader.
Hello.
Welcome back.
It's me. Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
It's always lovely to have you on the show.
Yeah. I feel like I've been here. It was pretty early in the season. I'm doing the Ren Fair still.
Yep.
PA Ren Fair, still going strong.
You were here first weekend.
That's right. And now I'm here.
Another first weekend, because as some of you at home already know, the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair is actually 2 shows in one. Mm-hmm. So we are out of, what do we call it? Like
the regular season.
The regular season.
We're now into the spooky season, the Halloween season. So for these last 3 weekends of Halloween, the first one of which we just finished, so the next 2 weekends, you get to experience a Halloween overlay on top of everything. So same characters, different scenario, a big, bad, scary villain.
Oh,
which is
no.
very exciting. I know, but it's good.
Yeah. Well, and we've got some other news that we'll be sharing a little bit later, but yeah. Why don't we
Oh yeah. Let's go. Speaking of the Renaissance.
Well, we'll play a song for as some of you already know, Jules plays Queen Elizabeth I. Mm-hmm. We are going to be sharing one of her character's father's famous songs. Pastime with good company, I love and shall until I die. Grudge who will but not deny. So God be pleased, thus live will I. For my pastimes, on sing and dance, my heart is set. All goodly sport, for my comfort, who shall me live? You must have some dalliance of good or ill, some passions. Company methinks the best of thoughts and fancies to digest. For idleness is chief mistress of vices all, and who can say but mirth and play is best of all? Company with honesty is virtue, vices to flee. Company is good or ill, but every man hath his free will. The best ensue, the worst eschew, a mind shall be virtue to use, vice to refuse, but shall I use me? Je peux vivre correct, avec tout. Si tes amis se boivent à boire. Je peux vivre correct, avec tout. Si tes amis se boivent à boire. Chantons et mourons, c'est des hommes dans la guerre. Chantons et mourons, des amis mourants. Chantons et mourons, c'est des hommes dans la guerre. Chantons et mourons, des amis mourants. Je peux vivre correct, avec tout. Si tes amis je bois, je bois. Je peux vivre correct, avec tout. Si tes amis je bois, je bois. Chantons et mourons, c'est des hommes dans la guerre. Chantons et mourons, des amis mourants. Chantons et mourons, c'est des hommes dans la guerre. Chantons et mourons, des amis mourants. Quand je bois du vin correct, à mes tout tourner. Si tes amis je bois un jour, bois. Quand je bois du vin correct, à mes tout tourner. Si tes amis je bois un jour, bois. Chantons et mourons, c'est des hommes dans la guerre. Chantons et mourons, des amis mourants. Chantons et mourons, c'est des hommes dans la guerre. Chantons et mourons, des amis mourants. And the last time we got to sing that was actually at fair at a finale. So that was fun.
That was so good. I really loved that.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, oh, it's like we're back at finale at fair. It sounds so good.
What a good time.
It's
A few
so much
hundred
fun.
fewer people in the audience.
That's okay. We're playing to the small stage here at the Wandering Bard. It's
That's right.
cozy. It's a cozy stage.
That's right. Cozy.
Yeah.
Come sit by the fireplace.
Yeah, friends and family are bound.
Yeah.
Speaking
Well,
of fire,
speaking of fire,
let's sing one of my favorite songs. I think the first time I heard this song was it college? I don't remember. It was sometime back in 2015 or 16 or something like that. That was after college. I'm a little older than that. But I really like this song because it actually reminds me a lot of this play that I really fell in love with in college. And it is called The Firebringers or something like that. The Firestarters. And it is a play about these people who live in their house, and there's these criminals on the loose that they've heard about. Criminals on the loose, and they get a knock on their door, and someone is at their door. They open the door, and there are these two strangers standing at their door, and they say, "Hi, we're in the neighborhood. We're looking for a place to stay." And they, not wanting to be rude and say, "No, there are criminals and you might be those criminals," not wanting to be rude, they open up their house and they let them come in. And so all these weird things keep happening where they're like, "Oh, I don't want to assume it's them," but like things go missing and things start to get broken, and then all of a sudden a fire breaks out. And so you finally learn that if they had just been a little more vigilant and set up their boundaries, then the two criminals wouldn't have made it into their house.
oof.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. So was that a play that you got to be in, or is that a play that you just got to view?
We got to study it. So it was mostly, we were studying this sort of avant-garde way of, it was Jacques Lecoq was the name of the theater artist who was like, you don't have to, do you see the script? You don't have to do anything related to the script. You don't even have to say the words in the script. This is a starting off point to the point of like, you can literally twist it into anything, and that is art. And it should come fully from within you. It should come fully from, like, you can rearrange everything, and it is a completely new life. That is your job as an actor and as a performer, is to not take any of the source material except for the things that speak to you.
Yeah.
I personally do not perform that way, but I understand where he's coming from. It's a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
Of, like, taking one element and then expounding upon that as opposed to, like, just taking it at face value, which I think is, an interesting concept. Mm-hmm. But this song... it came out after I had done that, and I went, it's the thing. And I was like so excited. I've seen the fire watcher's daughter, watching fires burn from smoke to black. There's nothing she won't burn, from styrofoam to urns, to someone else's ashes in a sack. You can scorch the metal, you can even melt the glass. You can pass the time here, fire lives into the past. An all-consuming flame that refines and new begins. It'll take your family heirlooms, but I can take your darkest sins. You take good old bedtime story, give you nightmares till you die, and the ones that love to tell them hide the mischief in their eyes. Condemn their sons to Hades and Guyana's full of guys alive and well, but there ain't no hell for a fire watcher's daughter. We exorcise the demons of the things we used to know. The gnashing of the teeth become the remnants of our homes. We This hideout surprised me for a second. I was like, wait, how does this? There you go. I love that song though. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Brandi Carlile, for those of you who don't know.
Huge influence to me.
We can talk a little more about that.
We're putting fire in the chat for you.
Oh.
Fire!
Well, I mean, fire is kind of a good theme for this time of year. I mean, one of the things that changes at Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair is it completely gets redecorated
Oh yeah.
in a week. So there's all these really beautiful yellows and golds and reds that kind of pop up all around the Shire, and all this really beautiful kind of harvest themed stuff, in addition to the kind of spooky decorations. But I wanted to talk a little bit about like the changeover for like what it's been like for you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the shows have changed obviously, but like what are some things that maybe you didn't anticipate like as challenges with the changeover to the shows? Was there anything that surprised you?
It was surprising how quickly it had to come together this year, because a lot of times it feels like, oh, and now we're kind of starting. About halfway through the season, we get the scripts and we figure out what we're going to do and all that kind of stuff. And for some reason this year, with just how everything played out and how scheduling worked and all of the other things that we had to do, for instance, we do kids' days during the fall season too. So at the very beginning of October, we did like 2 condensed fair days. And it just, for some reason, it fell the week before we went into tech for the Halloween shows. And so it was just kind of, it's been a very busy couple of weeks. But so what happened is we had to really like do a lot of front work on the character relationships and lines and memorizing and blocking. And we've done a lot of work to try and get everything in. And I think opening weekend went absolutely superb. I would not change anything about it. It was so good. There's a wonderful actor playing the villain role, and I'm so thrilled for him because it's his first time playing a villain in this capacity, and I am just so excited for everybody to see him because he is, first of all, he's a delight to work with, and second of all, he is just so good at what he does. But I think that was the biggest, most surprising thing, was how little time we can make something so magical. It just because like I don't have the best memory, as some of you might have already gleaned. And so the actual working of everything needed to happen so like condensed.
Yeah.
And it was a lot at first. I was a bit overwhelmed, but we pulled it out. I mean, honestly, the team that we have this year is exceptional. So highly, highly grateful for all of them for not only helping me look cool, but also like helping everybody else get through a tough process that with everybody else involved was just easy peasy.
Yeah, so, and that's no small feat either. For friends at home who haven't gotten to see the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair this year, it's a big cast. So that so many moving parts can work so well together and have this kind of a turnover with maybe not as much prep as some might have wanted.
Yeah.
How many people are on cast this year?
Oh my gracious. I would say about 40 Bacchanalians, and then I would say about 60 Blackfriars. So maybe 50. I did not count. But there are a good chunk of us. And 40 might be overstepping. It might be 35. But give or take 5 people.
I mean, that's still...
It's a lot of... That's a good chunk.
Yeah.
Not to mention the independents that are like also out there like working it. And there's a lot of new independents. There's a lot of independents that have gone that we miss dearly. But
I miss being there.
Oh well, come
but you've got Trio Mundo.
That's true.
Help keep things exciting.
And it's sold out.
Yeah,
It's completely sold out, friends. So if you didn't get your tickets next year, next year,
there are great people who are videoing everything. So YouTube will have something available to you.
It's true. Our good friend Steve, Steve Kosser, he's on YouTube and he does a lot of filming for the Ren Fair. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Steve. Especially if you like the music acts, Steve is wonderful.
Yeah,
he actually got one of our last sets. He got our last set on the Heart.
Oh yeah.
And it was that was nice.
Yeah.
Because we had the 3 of us, Marshall, Jordan, and I, plus Jim Hancock and Dan Grip from the Burley Minstrels and Luke Lee. So
Nice.
we
That's
had
a good group.
We had a nice big group.
What a good farewell performance
Yeah.
of the season.
Well, Jim and Dan and Luke had been sitting in on that set for most of the season. And then we had like 1 week where we weren't there. So it didn't work for everybody's schedule. But for the most part, that was our last show.
Wow.
So, but anyway. Yeah. So you've gotten to visit a few other fairs. And I don't know that we've really talked about this much, but what is something, like after visiting other festivals, what's something that when you think of Pennsylvania is something that's very special about PA to you?
Besides the paved roads, I do really enjoy. I mean,
Dora said too.
Yeah.
Dora said the same thing.
Well,
last
the
week.
paved roads are really nice because it makes it more accessible. So, like, we get to see a lot of people that we would not usually be able to see, like a lot of like wheelchairs and crutches and all that. It's a lot easier to get around for a lot of different people, which is fantastic. The other thing I would say is just the there's so much. I really love the kind of character work that we get to do because it's not something that is maybe focused upon in a lot of other fairs. So like our plot is way more focused on than I think the majority of other places out there.
I think that's fair to say.
Like the plot storyline that goes through the entire day and through the entire season is kind of unique to our fair. Not like solely unique. I'm sure that there are other fairs that do it, and I'm absolutely. But there's a way that we like really focus in on these kind of extra overarching stories that are not historically accurate, of course, because Queen Elizabeth is not fighting a guild war during the regular season. But something that like is very character driven, and there's like so many different gemstones that you can find just being on the street. Because there are a lot of like improv artists that are just there all to do street work, and it's absolutely incredible the way that they train and the way that we have to like prepare in order to be out on the street for so long. Because like I'm there from 11 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. and I have maybe an hour and a half when I'm not on the street. And that is to eat and to, sit and drink and water and stuff. And a lot of that has to be with, do with shows and stuff like that too. So I'm not on the street for a long time, but like I walk around the entire time. So if you're out there, I'm walking out there too, and in the big dress and everything. And so please feel free to say hi. Love saying hi to everybody. Love chatting with everybody. And that's the other thing is like, this is such an interactive place that I've never felt uncomfortable going up to anyone on the street, and it feels very natural for them to talk back and to come up to me, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that makes the Ren Fair so magical, because there is this, open invite that everybody's kind of part of what's going on.
Yeah,
and it's less of a feeling of being at like, I don't know, like. There are historical reenactment parks. I'm kind of thinking of like Colonial Williamsburg. Yeah. But it's not really the same vibe as that. Like it's much more immersive, but it's also more playful at the same time.
That was one thing that my husband Jeff has worked at the fair for a very long time. He's a writer. He's written a lot of the shows that you might have seen in the past few years and this year. But one of the things that he always led with, because he's a teacher of improv as well, and he has like really spearheaded the improv over the last like 9 or 10 years of like how to teach improv in this sort of environment, and especially at Pennsylvania. And he always leads with choose joy first, choose chaos second, and sometimes they happily meet together. And that is his whole thing. And I think that is the perfect way to encapsulate my sort of core value as a performer, is to really just choose the joy in every situation. So like if anyone comes at me with weird energy, it's like, okay, we're going to be joyful about whatever you've said and turn it into something really positive, even if it's a negative thing you've thrown at me. Yeah. Because no one else is going to like to play with that, Right. So, and we teach people how to play by our reactions. Yeah. So the main component of this entire performance art that we do is to be joyful in whatever you're doing. And if it's silly, great. If it's more chaotic, even better. Like,
Yeah.
I think Queen Elizabeth has gotten a little more chaotic as the season goes on, which I love. Every time, finale Pub Sing is, I think, my favorite show, because anytime someone is about to perform and they throw it over to me, they go, "Isn't that great, Your Majesty?" I'll be like, "Sure," and blah, blah, blah. And I'll have some random extra thing to say to them, and it will either throw them off in a good way, or it will just be for the audience. And either way, it's great for me. Because I love just interacting with not only the performers on stage, but like the people in the audience, and it's a great time.
Yeah, it is. I think, I mean, again, I think that's the thing that draws so many of us to that place.
Yeah.
Is there's a way in which, just because everybody on cast is so intentional about choosing joy, which is not something that happens very much in the rest of the world. So when you're in a situation where that happens, I think it's really doing something to help with the spirit, because so much of at least my own consciousness is aware of how divided we are as a country. But there's something really magical that happens there are a lot of places where I'm sure this happens, but I know this happens at the Ren Fair, where a lot of people can kind of forget some of that and offload a bit of that, and can interact in a playful and fun way with people that they might not talk to, even if that's not like for serious reasons. Like, it's just a much more friendly, welcoming place, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah. And on the cast, you make lifelong friends. I mean, like, we met as director and actor, and 4 years later, here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. 4 years, because 2021.
Yeah.
That's right. That was my first year as Queen.
That's right.
There you go. Where friendships are made to last.
Yeah. So, you've got some news. You got a new single coming out.
I have a couple new singles coming out at some point.
Yeah.
In fact, yes. So you've been hearing, I've been playing pretty regularly the same two songs. Most frequently, you've been hearing Our Time, which is the rotary phone song. It is a joy of mine to play every time, and I'm so glad that everyone loves it. But I am finally able to release it because Jeremy is a saint and has helped me put it to a recording. And we're going to release it next month on November 15th for New Music Friday. And I'm so thrilled. I'm very excited. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's going to be out on a couple different platforms, Bandcamp for sure. I'm going to give more detail in the days to come, but please follow me on Instagram and Facebook for any updates. So my Instagram handle is jules.schrader, and then my Facebook is Jules Schrader. And they will put it down in the comments and the everything. So you can, I've never self-promoted like this, and it is something I'm going to get used to because you're going to be hearing a lot of it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
and you should be. I mean, these are really wonderful songs, and I'm really proud that I got a chance to be a part of it. So thanks for
a part of it. You're most of it. Honestly,
you wrote the thing.
Well, yeah, but it was produced and recorded here in Jeremy's home studio, which is just such a delight to have the support system that you give to me, because I truly I don't think it would have gotten made without you, and it really wouldn't have. So really, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so thrilled, and I will absolutely put your name on the credits.
Thanks, Jules. No, it was a joy, and really do follow Jules on Instagram. You're gonna want to check this out. It's a very cool single, and she shared another new song that she recently wrote with me before tonight. That was also really nice. So the world might feel like it's full of a lot of music and a lot of songwriters, but I think the world needs more songwriters that have like the sense of depth that your songs have, Jules. And I mean, there's something really wonderful and like innocent and beautiful about our time.
Yeah.
Because it captures this really wonderful moment that I know, I mean, you wrote this for Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
but it has that feeling of like, oh, like everything's new, like you've met this person and it completely changes your life, and it like all of those things, like
Yeah.
even stuff that had no parallels,
Mm-hmm.
like they weren't exactly the same. With like Lori and I, there are all these like really cool little things
Yeah.
that reminds me of that. And I think one of the things that, I mean, people have been talking for at least the last 20 years about how with like older patients who might be suffering with dementia,
Yeah.
the songs of their youth bring them back somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's true generally that the best music transports us because it does a thing where it transposes someone else's experience into ours,
Yeah.
and it can put something in a way that's really beautiful and relatable. And anyway,
Oh,
we should
appreciate
probably
that. Yeah.
I will stop talking so we can play.
No, keep complimenting me.
We'll leave that to you fine folks in the comments.
In queen fashion.
A true queen fashion. 1, 2. Maybe I don't know a lot, but I've had myself a thought. That thing that you and I have got going on is something that I'd give a trial. I want to stick around for a while to see if I can make you smile, to see if you can fill this hole in my heart. If you think that that's okay, could I stop by today? There's something that I'd like to say. Don't worry, what I wanna come and tell will hopefully cast a spell, 'cause yours already works so well. And it all began when I first saw you smile. And oh, you're heaven sent, and oh, I could invent 1,000 words about the birds, but I can't capture you in a song. And oh, you're mighty fine, as blissful as a glass of wine. Give me hope, you are the rope that I'll cling to for a time. And oh, what a time, our time. I'm nervous now, but the best kind. Your face is filling up my mind. I'll leave my worst parts behind in the past where they belong. And here on out, it's our new style. Living free, running wild. You know just how to turn my dial like an old rotary phone. And I'll ring, but just for you. Bam.
Ah,
It's so funny because in my
Another one?
head I was going through what we've been listening to for the past like 2 months, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Where are the backup vocals here?" Oh yeah, that's me.
That's
right.
because-
It's because it's
we can't split ourselves.
time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jules
I'm so
did a
excited.
really good job of doing cool backup singing stuff. So really
Yeah,
excited.
I think the Brandi Carlile influence is very clearly on that song. You'll hear it in the way that my vibrato is very much heavily influenced by oh, like the waver is very Brandi Carlile, and I love her so much. I'm so excited to emulate her. But like the tight harmonies that she does too is like something
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about, especially like a triple. Oh, give me a 3-part harmony that is like locked in, and I am set. It's my favorite thing in the entire world.
Well, Jules has done a wonderful job of setting those things up on the singles, so I'm excited for all of you to get a chance to go out and download Our Time on November 15th when that comes out.
Is
Well-
there anything else besides Brandi Carlile? Like what else besides like is
Oh
like,
my
what other
goodness.
styles? Like what else do you have? Like you're like
I think one of my favorite bands is the Waylon Jennys. Again, that 3-part harmony that's like really crisp and clear. I love a good Alanis Morissette. I think the way that I yodel is very influenced by her as well. Chappell Roan, of course. But I have a lot of like folksy roots. When I was growing up, I would listen to, my dad would play Alan Jackson in the car and the Dixie, or like the Chicks, and Alison Krauss is a huge influence. So like I have a very bluegrass upbringing. And and it is very clear that I'm sort of a folksy Americana country infused artist. I'm getting into a little more of a pop sound recently, just because I am a huge fan of pop. I always have been. And I think I can have a way to like meld all that together and still be very authentically in between the worlds, which I think is so fun. I don't really like. I love when genres hop over each other and kind of mix and intermingle. I think that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Why draw the line if you're not going to step over it and like go back and forth between it?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the time genres are kind of artificial anyway. And like the bands that are the most pure are either the bands that invented the genre
Yeah.
or they're boring.
Yeah.
Because they're like too about like the orthodoxy of the style and not about like, because I mean, I'm sure this happens for you as a songwriter, but my experience is like I'll have an idea and I'll start it and I'll kind of like outline the lyrics and outline the chords, and somewhere in between there and like the second draft,
Yeah.
usually something happens that I didn't expect. That's kind of like, oh yeah, this is what this needs to be.
Yep.
And if I'm thinking in terms of like, well, I can only use these keys or these sounds, like I don't get that. And I
Yeah.
think the fun part, at least of all the music that I love, is it ticks a lot of the boxes for like a genre or two.
Yeah.
But then it does things with those that are not normal
Yeah.
or not normal, and there's a surprise in there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I see what you did there. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think
So-
subverting the expectation is, I think, one of the best things, the most
Yeah.
creative things you can really do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
For instance, this song that I wrote, I'll give the backstory. So this song that I am not releasing, that you're going to hear tonight on
She's
Tonight
not
Only.
releasing it yet.
Not releasing it yet. I really do like this song. And I wrote it, I formulated it on, was it last week on Tuesday? I think it was last week on Tuesday, because I was at a craft party for my friend Sturge. It was their birthday. They were having a craft day. And I don't have a craft at the moment. I don't knit, I don't crochet. I tried, I got bored. I have ADHD. And so I couldn't focus long enough to complete a project or count well enough to do it. So I did not have a craft. And I said, you know what? I was inspired by a conversation I had with Jeremy a couple of weeks ago when I was over here listening to the masters for my songs. And Jeremy is a great great supporter, encourager of art and everything. And he was like, I've been working on my songwriting, and you should like really like sit down and like make it part of your routine to just write more. And I was like, you're right, because I have not had a new song in like a year and a half. And I've been writing lyrics every once in a while, but I've never like committed to actually setting them down. So at this craft day, one of our friends had a red wagon, and it was in the way, and she was like, oh, I'll move that out of the way. And I said, no, leave it, let them hop over it. It's an obstacle course. And then somehow the challenge got to, oh, today I'm going to write a song. That'll be my craft for craft day, is I'm going to write a song about a red wagon. And surprise, surprise, it's kind of sad. And I was like, oh, this is going to be really cute. And then I started writing, and I went, oh no, what did I delve into? But it is about like, especially songwriting is like one of the more vulnerable things that I have ever done. I don't really embrace my name on things. Like if I'm going to be vulnerable, it's going to be through a character. And that's how I get my vulnerability out. But usually like I don't easily put out everything that I'm feeling and my art with my own name on it.
Yeah.
So this was a kind of a way to kind of work through that as well, about being vulnerable in the face of like the entire world. So I hope you enjoy it. And I hope I remember how it goes, because I solidified it 2 hours ago.
It's a world premiere, friends.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'll take my little red wagon and I'll ride on off alone. There ain't nothing in this small town that I can call home. Maybe new wheels and a coat of paint will show that I have grown. But nothing seems to free my heart from its cast of stone. I've been trying to lighten the load, but there is always something new. A vision or a memory that I can't make it through. But if I leave that heavy stock behind me, back in my rear view, I lose all of the harder things that drove me right to you. To think about your past is if you wanted to or not. Sometimes those hard memories are the only truth you got. And even with experience, the days can be hard fought. So keep your wagon clean, don't let those feelings rot. There are always bumps and bruises, there are always cuts and cries, and you may not even notice till there's water in your eyes. The road ain't ever easy, but it's smooth to realize, knowing we all got our wagons hitched with the same freight ties. For many it may feel like the load's too much to bear, till a friend comes round the bend offering some strength enough to share. And you're hoping that they see your wagon, they won't leave you there, saying sorry, what you got is much too worse for wear. So I'll take my little red wagon and I'll ride on off alone, searching for a destination that keeps me from the road, and a resting spot for my feet and a baggage that I tow. But for now I'm headed westward into the unknown.
All right.
Take that, Red
My
Wagon.
little red wagon.
World premiere of Red Wagon. friends.
Wow, I love that.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Jules.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was my craft. I think, turned out well.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm excited to work more on it because, as I was talking about with you earlier, there's a lot of things I want to do with it. So again, it's in workshop, so you might hear a little different version next time you see me.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the Wandering Bard's for.
Oh yeah.
That's what this place is for. It's just, show off some stuff and then, make it better.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. Plenty of songs that Jeremy has workshopped and it's completely changed over the years, which is amazing. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole solo album that I've been working on for a while, if you've been watching the show, you've already heard it, but in very different versions from what it's going to sound like. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, the great thing about going to the studio is you have so many more options.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't really matter if you can get a crew of people or hire other musicians. You can kind of get in there and sound as big as you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's very exciting.
it is. So remember, Jules is releasing a new single on November 15th. Mark your calendars. And remember, friends, Bandcamp. When she posts the link for Bandcamp, do give her a follow. Bandcamp is the kindest to their artists, offering the largest commission of any online download platform. So be sure to check out Jules' single when that comes out.
Yeah. I think we're in tune. Hang on. Nope.
Yes, friends, the weather is changing, and with it, the wood in our instruments.
Oh man.
Saying last week it was 80, and this week it's not even making it past 60 today. So
There you go.
into the 30s at night.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's why this whole thing is happening. I had
Yeah.
laryngitis last week, so the voice is getting back, which is great. But it's a little crusty.
Yeah, I don't think... I think of all the things that we do at Ren Fairs, I don't think people appreciate what the weather change does to voices.
Yeah.
More
Oh,
than
yeah.
anything else.
Well, and the humidity change and it's much drier, so it feels like everything is a little more scratchy. Everyone's got sinuses going crazy because of how up and down it's been,
And then there's the ragweed
oh yeah,
and the mold from the leaves.
it's almost like we should all be inside.
It's the best time of year, okay? It's the best time of year.
There's nothing like
It is.
fall
There's
outside.
nothing like
it's
fall.
amazing.
Gorgeous, but
Yeah, let's talk about the color and woo,
just put a scarf on next time.
put a scarf on.
Put a scarf on. That is the move.
It's clever.
Well, do we want to treat the fine folks to another preview of your upcoming single?
Yes, I would love it. All right. 1, 2, ready, and autumn chills and winter freezes makes me think about the days when we begged for breezes, when the sun was warmer but we had those warmer nights. Hard months turn into harder years. Every day my mind thinks of some brand new fears, and I'm hanging by a thread as thin as the blade of the knife. There are some things that make the struggle alright. Going to a bar and singing a sad tune, making friends with all the drunk girls in the bathroom, tearing up a dance floor with these aching feet. flowers that we pick. I'm hoping for some larkspur's purple hue. Bring some color to my gray and moody blues. Oh, let's go into a bar and sing a sad tune, making friends with all the drunk girls in the bathroom, tearing up a dance floor with these aching feet. Driving real slow just to look at the firefly, seeing them light up the field like a night sky. Going for some late night ice cream down the street. When the tears on my shoulder get me low, I am warmed by a summer glow. I am warmed by a summer glow.
Nice.
I love that. Ah, it really just like, especially in the fall when summer
Yeah.
is over, is coming to the end, and it just, it really just takes me back to
Yeah.
like mid-July or August. It's a good time.
It's so funny. Jeremy and I were thinking about you last night because there's literally late night ice cream
Yeah.
down the Did He Tell You? There's,
No.
Okay,
there's
so
literally a vending machine.
we were walking.
Yeah.
We were walking out last night, and like there's a vending room, a vending machine in
Yeah.
somebody's like house. It's like on the street.
Yeah.
And we're walking by, and like it's got motion lights, and like the machine lights up, and it's like it's
just
like,
like a
a,
good humor,
Mr. Goodbar
yeah.
deal.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I look
that-
over, and I'm like, well, there's Jules' late night ice cream.
We had a good we were like, wow, that's really weird. There, you can just go down the street and just get a vending machine ice cream.
Late night ice cream everywhere if you look hard enough. I mean,
And we found it.
yeah, you
We
did.
finally found it.
Just got to go searching. It's not me encouraging you to walk late at night. I just,
I mean, our neighborhood's relatively safe.
oh,
I'm
yeah,
not-
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
Go
so
with a friend.
It's so
Yeah.
safe,
Ice
and it
cream's
lights
better with
up.
a
It
friend.
lights up. It's so funny. It's like motion centered. But anyway,
Oh, that's so funny.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yay, we found it.
We found it.
We did it.
Well, friends, every show I come to a point where we have good news and we have bad news.
Oh man.
And we'll do the bad news first because we can tell that you're all desperately worried. We only have time for one more song.
Oh no.
I know. But I have good news.
What is it?
We have time for one more song.
Yay!
And because we don't get to play this song very often at Fair, it's kind of like,
Together.
yeah, we never
Yeah.
get to play very much together at all.
Yeah.
We got to sing together at 3 finales this year,
Yeah.
which is way more than we got last year or the year before.
Yeah.
So I'd say job well done there.
Seriously. Yeah, yeah.
But this is a song that I don't hear as much on circuit anymore. I think it kind of like fell into disuse.
Yeah.
But what a great way to end a festival day. Kind friends and companions, come join
rise and hum. We're ready to dock. I wish a safe landing without any shock. If I ever should need you by land or by sea, I will always remember your kindness to me. Here's a health to the company and one to my lass. Let us drink and be merry all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all brief to refrain. For we may or may never all meet here again. My footsteps may falter, my wit it might fail, my course may be challenged by November gale. Ere fortune shall prove to be friend or be foe, you will always be with me wherever I go. Here's a health to the company and one to my lass. Let us drink and be merry all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all brief to refrain. For we may or might never all meet here again.
Thanks for being on the show tonight, Jules.
Thank you for having me. What a joy.
Friends, Jules Schrader, do be sure to mark your calendars and check her socials, because on November 15th, she is releasing a new album. And if you already have tickets, have fun hanging out with her at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. Queen Elizabeth I is a joy and a delight, and you should definitely bid her a God Save the Queen.
Why, thank you. Appreciate it.
Friends, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. I'm Jeremy Grafe. Love you all. See you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern.